All right, so let's go ahead and finish up the, what is this, 22.3. So this is the 22.3 supplemental notes, official Venn diagram notes. Now we talked about overlap, right? And I said, hey, how can you tell how many people were double counted? How can you tell when you draw a standard Venn diagram? How can you tell what goes in the intersection in the middle, right? And then we all said like, oh yeah, it's just whatever the overlap is. And that's true. But why? Have you ever thought about why that's happening? And I know we talked about it's because people got double counted, but I mean, mathematically, how could you show that with math? And that's what you needed to have learned in order to pull off these Venn diagrams with 3 circles in them. So we're going to do this one, and yeah, it's going to be a little over-engineered, I'm aware, but this is the setup for it. Okay, so let's draw ourselves a Venn diagram. And we have, what do we have? High dive and low dive. Let's call them that, high dives and low dives. So we got high dives and low dives. A diving team has 25 members. If 18 of them dive from 10 meters and 17 dive from 4 meters, how many dive from both? Could we common sense our way to the answer? Yes, but that's not algebra, and you can't common sense your way to the answers once there's more circles. It becomes really, really difficult. So what is the process? Well, your job is to figure out what's in the middle, right? But you don't know what it equals, do you? Right? Great. Since we don't know what it equals, why don't we call it x? Why don't we call it x? Now, high dives. Well, there's 18 of them. If x of them exist in the middle, then what's left is 18 minus x over here. Because the H circle had better have 18 in it. And if you do 18 minus x plus x, you will get the 18. Now the L circle, for low dives, there's 17 people there. Well, if x of them are in the middle, then over here is 17 minus x. We know that our entire diving team exists in the 2 circles. So we know that the 2 circles had better have a total of 25 team members. So if you add up all the regions, it had better add up to 25. So what are our numbers? 18 plus 17, that gives us 35. Negative x, positive x, negative x leaves us with minus x. So this is the algebra behind why you can common sense your way to that overlap answer of 10. But this is why that works. Subtract the 35 from both sides, and of course, divide both sides by -1. That's why you could just look for the overlap of 2 circles. You can common sense your way to that answer. Well, duh, there's only 25 people, and I'm seeing 35. I must have double counted 10 of them. But that doesn't work very well when you get to 3 circles, because there are some people that get double counted, some people that get triple counted, and it becomes a train wreck. But we're going to use the same kind of logic to fill out our 3-circle Venn diagram. And that is how you will pull off those crazy ones that were in the homework. Just now starting to make sense. Awesome. Circle, circle. Picture's not drawn to scale because, yikes. Venn diagram. Look at that art. Students were asked what sports they played. And of the students that were surveyed, 46% played soccer, 37% played basketball, and 31% played baseball. I was a little short-sighted when I typed this up, forgetting that baseball and basketball are both start with a B and both would be abbreviated with BB. BT and BS. I like it. BS like my degree. Okay. We laugh, but it's what it says on my ring. BS. Bachelor's of Science. No, it also doesn't matter, but no, it's a Bachelor's of Science. So anyway, here we have soccer. Here we have our basketball and our baseball, which ends with an E, but I guess we'll use the S because you said so. There. Well, I know what belongs in each of those big circles. Yes, sir. Total. 13% of the students play soccer and basketball. Okay, that's going to give me that iris-shaped thing in the top middle. 5% plays soccer and baseball. That's my bottom left iris. And 9% play basketball and baseball, my bottom right iris. 11% don't play any sports. Okay, we know that out here is 0.11. Or you know what? I don't want to mess with the decimals. You guys cool if I just use 11?
Yeah.
Okay. I see the S went away. I gotcha. Yeah. Awesome. I don't feel like messing with decimals. Great. Find the percentage of students who played all 3 sports. So we clearly don't know what goes in the triple intersection. We don't know this. But we do know what goes in all 3 irises. The top middle one between soccer and basketball, it says 13%. So that iris, that should have added up to 13. So what that means is I have 13 minus x left in there. See, now if you add 13 minus x and x, you get 13. And we're going to do the same thing for the other 2. So what's the next one? Soccer and baseball. That would be the bottom left. Soccer and baseball has to add up to 5. So this must be a 5 minus x. The last one is basketball and baseball. 9%. They have to add up to 9. So 9 minus x. Cool. We good with that? All right. You have some options for these bigger places. It just depends on what kind of math you like to show. How do I want to say it? Let's see. Well, I know how to say it. I'm trying to figure out how I want to write this. The circle for soccer. We know that the circle for soccer has to add up to 46, correct? So if we wanted to know what goes in that remaining spot, you would have to say 46 minus the 3 that are listed already. So let's do it like that. Not minus 3x, it's just minus x, because one of those 3 x's is positive. So what we're going to do to figure out what goes in soccer only, and I'm going to write it like that. I'll write it in words. Soccer only. You would have to do 46 minus the 3 things that you know. So minus the x, minus the I missed the minus sign, I'm sorry. Minus the 13 minus x, and minus the 5 minus x. But yeah, you're just going to realize that 2 of those x's are negative and 1 is positive. So real quick maths gives you 46 minus 18 minus x, which is, what's 46 minus 18? 36, 28? Looks like 28 minus x.
But the math up top says that it was a positive x minus -1 times negative x, positive x.
Right, but look. Oh, I'm sorry, plus. I'm sorry, yeah. Plus. I'll be okay. Sorry about that. Ooh, that's the wrong color. There we go. Yeah. What? No, the top isn't wrong. No, look. This is plus x plus x. So that, good. So the 2 positive x's and then the 1 negative x that's sitting right here. So you still end up with a single positive x. So we know that that soccer only thing gets 28 plus x. And we're going to do the same thing for the other 2 only parts. I don't want to write basketball. So BT only. Basketball was 37% total. So we say 37. And again, you subtract the 3 things you know. Can you show less work? Of course you can. Again, when you do the minus negative x's, you're going to end up with 2 positive x's and a single negative x. Yes?
If these numbers represent percentages,
They represent percentages, yes.
why could, like, if it's from 28 plus x, and it says in the directions that
28 plus x.
played soccer 46, why can't we set 28 plus x equal to 46.
Because 28 plus X represents soccer only. But if you play multiple sports, including soccer, don't you still play soccer?
Yeah.
See, the 28 plus X represents the people who play soccer only. You want to know why we're not just solving for X right now. Because there is, let's see. If you did that, if you said 28 plus X, which is what that whole circle is, if you said that equals 46, what you're going to get is that X is 18, right? But here's a problem. 5 minus 18 is negative. 13 minus 18 is negative. Because you would end up with negative zones of your Venn diagram. Okay? Yes?
Oh, wait, we can't just add everything to 46.
Yeah. You'll end up with negative numbers. But I think and the reason why that's happening is because it doesn't take into account the 11 that are outside and the fact that 2 of those zones were double counted. 1 of those zones was triple counted. So you can't really shortcut your way there, unfortunately. So this one's going to be 37 minus 13 minus 9. What is that? 15. So this gives me 15 plus X. Just showing a little bit less simple algebra. The plus X is still going to happen. And then the last one for baseball only would be the same tricks. See, baseball was supposed to be what? Where am I at? 31. So it'd be 31 minus X minus the 3 that we see. Forgot the minus sign again. Again, when you distribute the negative signs, you're going to end up with a single negative X and 2. Goodness, I'm so tired. I wrote one of them twice. 31 minus, there you go. Okay. Much better. You end up with a single negative X and 2 positive X's, so you're going to get a plus X again. So we have 31 minus 5 minus 9 gives me 17. 17 plus X is what exists out here. And what do we know? We know that all these percentages have better add up to 100. So we take all the things we see, add them all up, and set it equal to 100. Now they need a little bit more space. No. We know that if we're talking about the whole pool of people, we told that the total should be 100%. Because remember, all these numbers represent percentages. So if I add up everything I see, it better equal 100%. Because what we did was we found out how much existed in each individual zone. So we're no longer double counting, we're no longer triple counting. We're going to add all of this up and set it equal to 100. Because we separated all of those things. So nobody's doubled, nobody's tripled. And, I mean, I'll use parentheses because it's good math. It's going to be a really long math statement, though. Just make sure you don't forget the 11.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't forget that 11. They count.
Can you imagine doing all that and then get the 11?
And then at the end, it doesn't make any sense because it makes negative zones. Yeah. Well, that'll be the dead gateway you goofed up. You'll end up with negative zones.
So
All the positive x's cancel a negative x. So positive x, negative x. Positive x, negative x. Positive x, negative x. Oh, there's a single positive x. Cool. And all of those integers are positive. Guess what they add up to? No, they don't add up to 100. They add up to 98.
98.
Yeah. So 28 plus 13 plus 5 plus 15 plus 9 plus 17 plus 11 is 98. So x equals 2. That means that 2% of people play all 3 sports. Now you can do the big scary Venn diagrams in that homework assignment.
Yes. Particular 3